So let's fix up this golden goose that I got in a ThredUp DIY designer box. Hi y'all, it's Christina with Stina Resells. I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark, eBay, and Real. I am preparing this golden goose bag that I unboxed in a recent DIY designer ThredUp box. I'll link that unboxing above if you want to watch that. And there was a little bit of wear to this bag on the corners. You can see that right here and kind of along the bottom, along the top here. And then there's a little spot that's got a small tear in it here at the bottom. So, and then of course, also along the back here. I am going to do a quick tutorial on how I figured out how to clean up this bag. You can see I already did this corner here. So you can see the difference between this corner and that corner. And I'm going to be using this oil stick, which I put the thing back on upside down. It's supposed to go like this. Oil stick that I ordered on Amazon. These are for like metallic. And this is not going to re-stain the leather. This is going to permanently recolor it. So make sure if you decide to try this technique that you do a test spot on whatever you're trying to recolor, because it is permanent once you let it fully set. I'll get into that as we start working on the bag together. I will be sending this bag in this week to the Real. So I'm going to get it touched up with you guys. I'm going to point the camera down, show you what I'm doing and what the final product looks like. Okay, so let's get working on fixing up this golden goose. It doesn't need a ton of work, just a little bit of touch up around the edges and this little spot down here. But the first thing I do when I'm getting ready to sell a bag is I turn the inside out. If it needs like kind of a vacuum out or a dust out, I do that. This one didn't really have a lot of stuff, but it does have some, I already did this side. It does have some staining inside the pocket. There you go. Maybe that's lipstick. Not 100% sure. So we're going to clean that up. And for that, I use the tub of towels. And just from doing the other side, which really didn't have that much staining, this is what my cloth looks like. So, and this is already kind of like dried out just from doing that other side. So we're going to get a clean one and work that up. And then we are going to do the edges. If I start noticing this is taking too long, I will pause the video and I will move, I'll finish it off camera and then we'll move over to the leather. I'm hoping that I don't shake the camera too much doing this, but you really do have to scrub it. See, look how much is coming off already. You have to scrub it really well. And this one's a little bit difficult because it is inside the interior slip pocket. But this will be worth all the extra work. These were comping out around $500 on the Real as far as sold purses go. So I feel like this one is in good enough shape that if I can just clean it up a little bit, that will be good to go. So sorry if I'm shaking the camera, but like I want to show you like how really, yeah, my dog is in here. That's not the purse, that's the dog. How you really have to, and look at the towel already. How you really have to put some elbow grease into it. I always used to like get annoyed when my dad would say that to me. Put some elbow grease into it. Like, stop. Anyways, if you can, the tub of towels, I believe you can buy them at like Home Depot. I just order mine on Amazon because I don't typically have time to be running around everywhere. I will put the link to all the products that I'm using today in the description through Amazon. Okay, I think we're almost there. That wasn't too bad. There's another little spot right here. So then the other thing that I'm going to do is normally once I'm done with the interior and I wipe it down because it will be kind of wet. Oh yeah, there's another big spot here. I leave it turned inside out overnight so that it can dry. I'm going to be putting it back in to show you the leather kind of touch up that we're going to do. But before, like when I'm all done with everything, I'll turn it back inside out for the night. Okay. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So just look at the cloth here, just from cleaning out that pocket. Okay, so we're gonna tuck that back in. Okay, let me show you kind of in the beginning of the video what I already did. I did this corner here. All right. And this is the corner we're gonna do. I'm going to do just a slight touch up on the edging here and then this spot here. Now, I think what I've decided I'm gonna do, because this is a small, let's look at it from this angle. This is a small tear in the bag. It doesn't go all the way through, it's just little. After I'm going to recolor this first and then I'm going to glue that down. And I'm just gonna lightly do the edges. I'm not doing a major like re-dye on this. It doesn't need it. So the acrylics that I usually use, like artist oils, they don't come in metallic colors. So I found these, this is what the package looks like on Amazon. I found these metallics and it said that they were oils. So I decided to try them. And you do have to, whoops, you do have to peel them. That's what it says on the instructions here. It's upside down right here. It says peel the film before using, and then it says it's self-sealing, and it does. So after I'm done using this, if I go back to touch it, nothing is like coming off of it, which is really interesting to me. So the first time I did this, I did it with my nails and that was a mess. So I don't know how thick this film actually is. So I'm probably actually wasting a bunch of this material, but it's not worth it for me to get my fingers super dirty when I'm trying to be very careful with this nice handbag. So I'm using my box cutter. You can decide if you do this, if you want to do that or not. And then I'm just taking the top off. There we go. Okay. Now, the first time that I did this, that I tried this out as a test, I did an inconspicuous area. And then I did what I usually do with the acrylics, which is when I use this leather wipe to wipe off the excess. Well, this stuff is totally different. This has to sit, because I think I let it sit 30 minutes. And then I wiped it and everything came off. So my point is, if you do make a mistake, well, first of all, do a test spot and make sure it looks good. But if you do make a mistake, it seems that you can wipe it off and it'll just come off before it sets. On the instructions, it does say that it takes 24 hours to totally set. So I'm just gonna actually very lightly go over the edging on this because I don't want it to look too dark or too different than the rest of the bag. And then this has to sit for 24 hours, and then I tried wiping it off. It will not come off. So just like I said, make sure you do a test spot and make sure that the color matches and that that's what you want to do. I also am going to be super careful to only get this edging and not get the other parts of the bag. Because I don't want any of this on the other parts of the bag. Even though there is some wear on the bag, I don't want to totally recolor all of that. Okay, so we're going to go around and do the edge. So sometimes that's kind of what you got to do. When you really want to fix something up, you've got to maybe find a new product that you haven't tried before. Try it, see if it works. If not, try something else. For me, if this wouldn't have worked, I would have maybe tried something else, maybe like a metallic dye. And if that wouldn't have worked, then maybe I would have just sold it as is on my own. That's usually kind of my plan. That if it's something I'm going to send into the RealReal and what I'm doing to fix it up doesn't really seem like it's working, then I will just sell it as is. Sometimes I'll try sending it into the RealReal. They're pretty, I don't know, with me, I feel like they're pretty picky. Maybe because I've sent them so many things that they're like, no ma'am, this is not good enough. I'm probably like flagged, like be extra stringent on her items. So I'm just gonna kind of go over this, and again, I'm just going over super lightly just to add a little bit of extra color. I have to do this like little spot anyway, so it's just kind of to add some extra color on the edging. So, all right, so like this corner is pretty bad as far as color loss. And the dogs are running in and out of here. And I've got one kid at home, so there may be some background noise going on. So see already the difference between here and here. So again, I'm just lightly going over this. And again, the instructions on these do say that they have to sit for 24 hours. So once you're done, you do want to let it sit. And then I still will go over it with the leather cleaning and conditioning wipe, which are these Lexols that I showed in my last video, just to make sure everything is cleaned and conditioned before I send it in. And I personally, I don't know if you can see this through the camera, I can kind of see on the edging, there were maybe a few spots I missed. I'm just going to lightly do that. And then just check everything over. There is a little bit of color loss by the zipper. I am not really going to worry about that. So let's flip her over here, and I'm going to do this edging. And then we're going to fix the little spot on the bottom, which I don't know if the RealReal will end up sending that back to me because of that. Again, it's just kind of a superficial tear on the leather, but because there's a little piece of the material gone, and so that silver is, metallic silver is missing, it's kind of glaringly obvious. So that's why I just want to recolor it, and then I'll just use some leather glue to tack it down. And then we'll just see if that's good enough for them. If they end up sending it back to me, this is something that I will note in the listing, that there's a little tear on the bottom. So it's gonna go across here. Hopefully you guys can see that, but maybe this will help if any of you have a metallic bag that you're trying to fix up and need a few spots covered up or recolored. Hopefully this will help somebody out there. If you watched my last video where I recolored the Ferragamos, which if you didn't, I'll link it at the top of the screen. That is good for most kind of regular leathers, and that's how I usually touch them up. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now let's work on the bottom. I need to do this corner here. And again, I'm not doing anything to this major part of the bag. And even with the edging, I'm not going super thick on this, just very lightly going over it. But I did a test because I wanted to make sure it was going to set and that it was going to look good. So I was very pleased. So the pack comes with a gold and it comes with a like bronze color. So that's definitely convenient. I will hold on to those for any other little touch-ups that I have to do. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. So now we're gonna do this little tear at the bottom. Like I said, I'm going to add the color to this and then tack it down. So I'm purposely kind of roughing up the edge there. So see how kind of that brown is gone. So it's not as noticeable. So kind of have that roughed up, okay? Now I'm going to use this leather glue. I also got this off of Amazon. The thing that kind of freaked me out when I opened this is it wasn't sealed. And so FYI, if you decide to order this and you open the top, there's no seal to break. It is ready to go. It comes with this little tiny funnel, and so you can really stick this in a small area. We're just gonna make sure that this doesn't come out too fast. Okay, I can see it in the tip here, and it just comes out in a very small amount. And that is what I am going to use, is an extremely small amount here. So we're just, okay, sorry about that. I had to pause the video for a minute. Well, actually I got kicked out, so I had to go back in. Okay, so I'm gonna stick this in very carefully, and we're just gonna do a very light amount in there. And I probably should have had the wipe ready. That wasn't very smart. You would think I would have learned by now. Okay. Okay, that one was like way at the bottom, so it was super saturated. And I'm just gonna lightly go over this just to make sure I get any glue that's off the top. Perfect. That looks awesome. What do you guys think? I mean, I know it's still not dry yet, but I feel like that looks really good. Okay, let's see if I let go of it, if it'll stay. Oop, I'm touching paint. Okay. Hopefully it'll stay like that. And see, on the leather wipe, a little bit of the paint came off, which is why I made sure I really like went over it. Okay. Awesome. Now I'm going to let that dry overnight and we will see how it turns out. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me. If you're interested in these type of rehab videos, make sure to leave that below in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I would love it if you did so. I do unboxings on this channel every week. There'll be one that will be coming on Thursday. And then I also do recaps and what solds. All right. See you guys next time. Bye, y'all.